Okay. I'll probably zoom that out a bit. Have it come like there. Okay. I missed. All right. Box of Edge of Eternities. And so if you're drafting, there are the various archetypes. Golgari is always graveyards. Ooh. Okay. This is kind of cool. Alright, so the various planets. Adagia has sun stars. Earthros has Ilvois, which are like jellyfish. Sasur has Monoists. Doesn't say like what their creature type is. Caveron have the Kavus, and then Avendo has the Umidians, which are insects. And then there's also Varge, Rix, and Astali creatures. This is actually kind of cool. I like this. Let's just move the box off camera for now. Alright. I guess we could zoom in more. Yeah, there we go. Avoid Gale Blade. So yeah, that's the yeah, that's this here. So it's the jellyfish creatures. 1 mana flash flying and sack draw a card. Like I like the 1 mana flyer that eventually draws you cards. Night Luminary, 4 mana 3/2. When it enters, make a 1/1. Or you can warp it for 2 mana. Where it enters, you still get the 1/1, and then it goes into exile, and you can cast it again later. Blooming Stinger. Nice little plant scorpion thing. Enters, another creature. Creature gets Death Touch until end turn, and it's 2/2 Death Touch. Frontline War Rager. 3 mana for a 2/3. Beginning your end step, if you have 2 or more tapped creatures, you put a counter on the creature. Sensational Skittermaw. 3 mana for a 2/2 with Menace. And Void, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield or a spell was warped, put a counter on this creature. Mechanzoa, 6 mana 5/5. When it enters, tap an artifact or creature and put a stun counter on it. And you can warp it for 3. Like, this is a very good jellyfish. Ooh. Red Tiger Mechan, 4 mana for a 3/3 with haste, or you can warp it in for 2. Oh, and it's a cat. Okay. Pull through the weft, 5 mana sorcery. Return 2 non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to the battlefield to your hand, and 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So, little ramping, you get some good stuff that may have died. I like it. Sammy's Ship Engineer, 4 mana for 2/4. Beating your end step, if you have 2 or more tapped creatures, make a 2/2 robot. This is the card I desperately want to see a foil of. Just want to lower that a little bit. Yeah. So 5 mana 3/2. When it enters, you get a plains or a creature card with mana value 1 or less from your deck. Reveal it, put it in your hand, or you can warp it for 2. So great way to guarantee a 3rd land drop on turn 3. And it's a 3/2 flyer. But just the art, I want to see what this looks like in a foil. So I'm hoping we get one. Scrounge for Eternity. 3 mana. Additional cost, sack an artifact or creature. Return a creature or spacecraft mana value 5 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then make a lander token. Okay, nice little recursion. I like that. You could get back the Starfield Shepherd. Ooh, and consult the star charts. 2 mana. Look at the top. 2 cards of your library, or X cards of your library, or X is the number of lands you control. Put 1 in your hand. If the spell was kicked, put 2 in your hand instead. The rest go on the bottom. So, 2 mana, get 1 card, or 4 mana, get 2. And late game, you're able to dig super deep to find really what you need. Consult the star charts is great. And an Infiltrator. I actually haven't seen this one. 3 mana for a 1/3. Can't be blocked if you cast 2 or more spells this turn. When it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Oh, okay. Very cool. Mountain. And then here's one of the lander tokens. There's 5 lander tokens for the 5 different planets. And then a human soldier. Germinating Worm. 5 mana, 5/5. When it enters, gain 2 life. Warp it in for 2. In which the warp mechanic will make more sense if we end up finding a spacecraft. Orbital Plunge. 4 mana. Deal 6 damage to a creature. If excess damage was dealt, create a lander. So great removal, potential ramp for the future. Yeah. Embrace Oblivion, 1 mana, additional cost, sack an artifact or creature just to destroy something. So you can sack your lander token if you don't need the lands and just blow something up. Very nice. We've seen the Gale Blade, we've seen the Luminary. Zealous Display. Creatures you control get +2/+0. If it's not your turn, though, untap those creatures. So you can use it as a combat trick during your attacks, where you might get a couple extra damage in, maybe trade off a creature or 2, or you're getting attacked, you basically get to untap your whole board, make them bigger, and have good blocks. So, Wormwall Sweeper, 2 mana for a spacecraft. When it enters, surveil 2. So look at the top 2 cards, you can keep any on top, or put any in the graveyard. And then Station, you tap creatures, and you put charge counters equal to the power on this. Once it hits 4 or greater, it's a 2/2 with flying. So that's where the warping can happen. So you warp this in, you can tap it immediately, get 5 counters on the sweeper, in which then you're able to start using the sweeper as a creature. Invasive Maneuvers. 3 mana, or 2 mana to deal 3 damage to a creature, or 5 if you have a spacecraft. Okay. Larval Scoutlander, 3 mana, 3/3. When it enters, you can sack a land or a lander. If you do, search your library for 2 basic lands, put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, and then at 7 charge counters, it's a 3/3 flyer. Emergency Eject, 3 mana, destroy a non-land permanent. Its controller makes a lander token. This is similar to, like, Stroke of Midnight, where you destroy a non-land permanent and your opponent gets a 1/1, but instead they're now getting a lander token. Okay. Ooh, nice. Watery Grave, Shockland. Very cool. Enters, pay 2 life, or it becomes into play tapped, but it's a island swamp, so that's always very good. Ooh, double rare, Emissary Escort. 2 mana for 0/4. It gets +X/+0, where X is the greatest mana value among other artifacts you control. Okay. And Dauntless Scrapbot. 3 mana for 3/1. When it enters, each opponent exile each opponent's graveyard. Make a lander token. Another mountain. And then different lander token with a robot. All right. One shock land so far. Actually, let's just, I know some of these rares might not be worth much, but we'll just put everything in the sleeves. So far in the 2 packs, we have 2 blue rares and a blue-black rare land, so if we were, like, drafting, we'd go into blue. Yeah, we have another jellyfish. Wow, another Night Luminary. Blooming Stinger. Hey, this is seeming familiar. Alright, Star Beach Whale. 5 mana for 3/5. When it enters, surveil 2. Or you can warp it for 2. And it flies. So, I like this. Very much. I like the Space Whale. Melt Strider's Gear. 1 mana for an artifact. Equipment. When it enters, you can immediately attach it to a creature. The creature gets +2/+1 in reach. The equip is 5, though. So if you play this on turn 1, bad idea. And then late game, it costs a lot to equip it. So, Systems Override. Gain control of target artifact or creature until end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until end of turn. If it's a spacecraft, put 10 charge counters on it. If you do, remove 10 charge counters from it at the beginning of the next end step. So, you can steal something of your opponent's, take it, and then it's powered up so you're able to swing with it. Or, if you're like, I only need my thing powered up for a turn, I'm going to steal my own thing and gain control of it so that it's powered up. Gigastorm Titan. 5 mana for 4/4, or it's a 2 mana 4/4 if you cast another spell this turn. So you can get this out turn 3. You go, you know, a 1-drop, like you have 3 lands, you go 1-drop, and then you can play this for 2. Lash Whip Predator, 6 mana for a 5/7 with reach, or it's a 4 mana 5/7 if your opponent has 3 or more creatures. So, if you're behind, like, yeah, you get a big body. I mean, even if you're ahead, it's cheaper. So, not horrible. Void Forged Titan. 5 mana for a 5/4. Void. Beginning your end step, non-land permanent left the battlefield or spell was warped. Draw a card, lose a life. Okay. 5 mana to potentially get that effect, though. Like, I don't know. You do get a big body with it. Astelia Reclaimer. 5 mana for 5/4. Flying. When it enters, you can return a non-creature, non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent. Or you can warp it for 3. So, if you warp it for 3, you can get things like the gear back, or where's actually like or like the spacecraft. If you warp it for 5, I don't think we've gotten a 5-drop non-creature permanent. But you could get something even better. You could get a different spacecraft. Cloud Sculpt Technician. 3 mana for 1/4. As long as you control an artifact, it's a 2/4. And it flies. Okay. Forest, Lander Token, and a robot. Alright. Self-craft Mechan. 4 mana for 3/4. When it enters, you can sack an artifact. When you do, you put a counter on this creature and you draw a card. So, potential replacement. If you have a lander that you don't really need, you can get rid of it. Focus Fire. Deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature, where X is 2 plus the number of creatures or spacecraft you control. So, nice little removal spell in the white. Drix Fatemaker. 4 mana for 3/2. When it enters, put a counter on something. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter has trample, and you can warp it in for 2. So you have a 1-drop, you warp this in, you make your 1-drop bigger, it has trample for the turn, and then later on this comes back, and if that 1-drop is still there, you might have a different creature you could put a counter on, and then they both have trample. Yeah. Rig for War. 2 mana. A creature gets +3/+0, first strike, and reach. So if you're attacking, the first strike will help you, eliminate a blocker. If you're being swung at, you can give it first strike and reach, where you might be able to kill a flyer. So, nice little combat trick. Virus Beetle, 2 mana for a 1/1. When it enters, each opponent discards a card. We saw this back in, I think it was Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Temporal Intervention, 3 mana. Target opponent reveals their hand. Choose an on-land card from it. That player discards that card. But it only costs 1 if you had a non-land permanent leave or a spell was warped this turn. Galactic Wayfire, 3 mana for 3/3. That when it enters, make a lander. I like this guy. Like, I used him in the pre-release. Codecracker Hound, 3 mana for 2/1. When it enters, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put 1 in your hand, the other in the graveyard, and then you can warp it for 3. This is the first one that the warp has been the exact same or more. I mean, it is... Yeah, no, I mean, with that effect, like, being able to refill your hand a little bit, like, I like it. Edge Rover, 1 mana for 2/2 with reach. When it dies, each player gets a lander token. Yeah. Dubious Delicacy, Flash, when it enters, a creature gets -3/-3. And then for 2 mana, you can sack it to gain 3 life, or 2 mana sack it and opponent loses 3 life. It's an acquired taste. Bygone Colossus, 9 mana for 9/9. You can warp it in for 3, so you can really station something up by warping this in for 3, and then it'll be in exile for a while. Ooh, here we go. Our first mythic, Dawnspire Sunstar Dreadnought. 5 mana for a spacecraft. At 10 charge counters, whenever you just attack, Dawnspire bolts something for 100. And then if you get to 20 charge counters, it's a 20/20 flyer. So, I mean, yeah, you have this, you warp that in, you're able to get 9 out of the 10 charge counters. So, we saw Rig for War. There's the foil version. Ooh, and we have a foil forest. And a lander robot token. Very cool. Alright, Blooming Stinger. Cav Landseeker. 4 mana for 4/3. Menace. When it enters, make a lander token. Beginning your end step on your next turn, sack that token. So basically you have a turn to crack the lander token, or you just lose it forever. Which, I mean, a little bit of ramping, like, yeah, that seems fine. Beamsaw Prospector. 2 mana for a 2/1. When it dies, make a lander token. We've seen the Technician. Bright Spear Zealot. 3 mana for a 2/4. Vigilance. It gets +2/+0 as long as you've cast 2 or more spells this turn. So, temporary 4/4 with Vigilance. Yeah. Sweeper. Ooh, that's a nice hit. Darkness. In the special guest form. 1 black, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Yeah, no, that's nice. Monoist Sentry. Black for a 4/1 defender. That'll trade with something. Volkguard Trooper. 5 mana, 5/5. Beginning your end step. If you control 2 or more tapped creatures, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. So nice little hand refiller if needed. Yeah. Alright. Steel Swarm Operator. 2 mana for a 1/1 flying. Tap to add blue to cast an artifact spell. Or tap to add 2 blue, but only to activate abilities of artifacts. Tanuk, Memorial Ensign. 1 red-green for 2/4. Landfall, deal a damage to each opponent, but if it's the second time the ability is resolved, you draw a card. Sunstar Chaplain. 2 mana for a 3/2. That's already really good. Beginning your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a counter on a creature. And then for 2 mana, remove a counter from a creature. Tap target artifact or creature. A nice little shutdown engine where you're a little aggro or maybe you're stationing a lot. And then you're able to keep your opponent from really doing much of anything. So, I like it. Lightless Evangel. Ooh. Look at that. Yeah, that's nice. Whenever you sacrifice another creature or artifact, put a counter on this creature. 2 mana, 2/2. Bears are great. There's a full art island. Non-foil, but this still looks really nice. Lander token, human soldier token. Ooh. I am curious. Boom. Boom. Darkness. In the special guest, hey! Pre-sale price right now, $11. I like it. I think it's my first copy that I've ever had of a Darkness. There we go. Alright. Starport Sentry. 1 mana, 1/1. And then for 4 mana, you can tap another target creature. Or it's 2 mana if you have a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. Germinating Worm. Cav Landseeker. Embrace Oblivion. Technician. Command Bridge. It enters tapped. When it enters, sacrifice it unless you tap an untapped permanent. And then add a mana of any color. So nice little mana fixing for the Command Bridge. Lost in Space. Target artifact or creature's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library, and then you surveil 1. Yeah, we've seen this effect multiple times. Boom. Cut Propulsion. 3 mana, target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. If that creature has flying, it deals twice that much damage instead. Okay. Yeah, I mean, great way to, like, you have a 2/2 that's causing you problems. You just cut Propulsion and it eliminates it. You're guaranteed to eliminate a flyer. Like, I like it. Cerebral Download. 5 mana for an instant. Surveil X, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Then draw 3 cards. So if for some reason all your artifacts have been getting hated on, it's 5 mana draw 3. Surveilling to maybe get rid of some lands can always end up being good. I like it. Tapestry Warden. 4 mana for 3/4. Each creature you control with toughness greater than his power assigns combat damage with its toughness, and each creature with toughness greater than his power stations permanents with its toughness, and it has vigilance. So he will always deal 4 damage unless he gets cut propulsioned, which then he'll only do 3 damage to himself. But then, you know, the station, he gets an extra boost there. So that's nice. Timeline Color. 2 mana for a 2/2. Haste. You can cast this card from your graveyard using the Warp ability, and the Warp is 1, or is a black and 2 life. I mean, Constant Threat is always good. You can never say no to that. Oh, alright. Bioengineered Future. 3 mana enchantment. When it enters, make a lander. Each creature you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for each land that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. So you do a lot of land ramping. You then and then you play 1 creature. It's super big. Honor. 1 mana. Put a counter on something. Draw a card. Ooh. Look at the cape. Yeah, the cape has a nice shine to it. I like that. Yeah. Then we have our forest and a robot drone token. There's our little drone friend. He can only block creatures with flying. Alright, Mech and Shield Mate. 2 mana for 3/2 Defender, but if an artifact enters under your control, he can attack. So, you know, he's just a wall, but then he's like, haha, a friend showed up. I will punch you. Flight Deck Coordinator. 3 mana for 3/3, beginning of your end step. If you control 2 or more tapped creatures, gain 2 life. So you do some stationing, and then you're able to get a little bit of supplemental life gain. It's not bad. And tap for Trenderfoot. 2 mana for 2/2. For 3 mana, put a counter on him, but only at sorcery speed. And he's okay. Plasma Bolt. Do 2 damage to any target. But if a non-land permanent left the battlefield, do 3 damage. Hull Carver. 1 mana, 1/1 Death Touch. Can't go wrong with that. Mental Modulation. 2 mana, tap an artifact or creature, draw a card. Or it costs 1 if it's during your turn. Nanoform Sentinel. 3 mana for 3/2. When it becomes tapped, untap another target permanent, but only once a turn. So, what you could do is, earlier we had the 9 mana Colossus. So you play this on turn 3. You warp in the Colossus on turn 4. You station something with the Colossus. You swing with this, you untap the Colossus, you station something else with the Colossus, and then you're able to have even more stuff, or you can build up to like the 20 counter stations, and you get 18 counters in a turn. Caesarean Dirgecraft. 5 mana 4/3. When it enters, each opponent sacks a non-token creature, and 7 counters to make it a 4/3 flyer. Hemosymbic Might. 1 mana, 1/1. When it becomes tapped, another target creature you control gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is this creature's power. So yeah, you tap this to station something, something gets +1/+1, and so it can station better, it can swing better. Rayblade Trooper. 3 mana for 2/2. When it enters, put a counter on a creature you control. So at minimum, You have no other creatures. It's a 3/3. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies with a +1/+1 counter, make a 1/1 human soldier. So you can warp it in for 2 mana, pump something, in which then it goes away. Or you can just play this on turn 3 as a 3/3 that when it dies makes a 1/1. Ooh, another mythic. Exalted Sunborn. 5 mana, 4/5, flying lifelink. Whenever one or more tokens you control would be created under your control, make that twice that many tokens instead. Warp is 1 and a white. It is this is very good. This is incredibly good. Ooh, and the I don't know how to pronounce that. Serima. 3 mana for a spacecraft. Search your library. When it enters, search your library for a legendary creature card. Reveal it, put it in your hand. And then when you have 7 or more charge counters, it's a 5/5 flyer where other tapped legendary creatures you control have indestructible. That's also very nice. 3 mana, thin your deck a little. And then, like, protecting legendary creatures. I like it. Oh, and a foil of the same card. Very cool. That was a triple rare pack. Oh, and a foil of the Full Art Swamp. Ooh, look at how these stars right over here. Oh, that's great. That is fantastic. We have a robot and a munitions token. When it leaves the battlefield, deal 2 damage to any target. We're gonna sleeve those up for now. The Exalted Sunborn, I know people are very excited for. Because, I mean, a token doubler for 2 mana is absolutely great. So I think that was... So that was pack 1. That was pack 2. Pack 3, pack 4, pack 5, pack 6. So these would not have been. So if it was a, like, pre-release, these would have been our rares. So we would have probably gone white-blue. Maybe white-blue-black. If that hadn't been pack 6 and that was pack 6, this would have been an incredible sealed pool. You would definitely, like, with all of this white support, you would definitely have to go white. Oh, no, that was... Oh, no, I took a pack from there. Okay. No, that was 7 packs, yeah. All right. We have the Sky Stinger. 3 mana, 3/3. With reach, if it blocks a creature with flying, it's an 8/3. Yeah. It's a big boy. Nebula Dragon. 7 mana for a 4/4 flyer. When it enters, deal 3 damage to any target. So a nice little lightning bolt. Bolt somebody's face, maybe eliminate a creature. Grave Pack Monoist. 3 mana for 2/1 with flying, but when it dies, make a 2/2 robot. Cryo Shatter. 1 mana, enchant a creature. It gets -5/-0, so it can't station anything anymore. And when it becomes tapped or is dealt damage, destroy it. Weft Blade Enhancer. 6 mana for 3/4. When it enters, put a counter on each of up to 2 target creatures, and you can warp it in for 3. So, you know, if you have that Ray Blade, where if a creature dies with a counter on it, make a 1/1 soldier. This helps you get more counters on more things, in which then you are able to make more soldiers. We have the Cyborgy. Chrome Companion. 2 mana for 2/1. When it becomes tapped, gain a life. 2 mana, put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Zookeeper Mechan. 2 mana for 1/3. Tap to add red. 7 mana. Target creature you control gets +4/+0. Activate only as a sorcery. Full Bore. This might be the Monstrous Rage replacement. Target creature you control gets +3/+2 until end of turn. If that creature was cast for its warp cost, it also gains trample and haste. But I mean, you know, just a 3/2 pump spell for 1. You know, it's going to do some damage. Mechan Navigator. 2 mana for 2/1. When it becomes tapped, draw a card, discard a card. Nice little looting. Meltstrider's Resolve. 1 mana for an enchantment. Enchant something you control. Enchanted creature fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. And it gets +0/+2. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Okay. Station Monitor. Blue and white for a 2/2. When you cast your second spell each turn, make a 1/1 colorless drone. Okay. Oh, and he's a lizard? Oh, yep. Okay, I see the lizard in the picture. That's like his face with his frills right up there. Yeah. Mutinous Massacre. 7 mana sorcery. Choose odd or even. Destroy each creature with mana value of the chosen quality. Then gain control of all the other creatures. Untap them. They gain haste. So it's a board wipe insurrection. You kill half the board, you take control of everything else, and then hopefully that's enough to fill out the game. Bonesaw Prospector. In foil. Oh, this would be a good island to see in foil. And then we have a robot and a Sliver token. 1/1 colorless Sliver. Alright, we've seen the Zealot. We've seen the Sky Stinger. Caveron Turbo Drone. 3 mana for 2/3. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and haste. Activate only as a sorcery. The Monoist. Cryo Shatter. Pinnacle Kill Ship. 7 mana. When it enters, deal 10 damage to something. So just kill something right on the spot. And then if you get to 7 charge counters, it's a 7/7 flyer. We've seen Lost in Space. Dual Sun Adepts. 3 mana for 2/2 with Double Strike. Alright. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn for 5 mana. Yeah, I mean... yeah, that's nice. I like that. Ooh. I like the border on this one. Okay. Debris Field Crusher. 5 mana for a spacecraft. When it enters, 3 damage to something. Station is 8 counters. It becomes a 1/5 flyer with essentially fire breathing. 2 mana, get +2/+0. So, you get rid of something, then potentially you might have a big butt for a bit. You can swing over. Phenomena. Earthros Exile, 3 mana for 1/3. Flying, whenever an artifact you control enters, put a counter on target creature, so not even itself. Okay. The Hilderblade. Black for an equipment. The equipped creature gets +3/+1. Void. If a non-land permanent or you warped something, you get a free attachment, which is nice. The equip is 4, so not bad. Ooh, Raghost Deft Gastronaut in its full art. It is a red-white 2/2 lobster. Artifacts you control are foods, which have pay 2 mana, sack, gain 3 life. 1 mana tap, sack of food, deal 3 damage to each opponent. Beginning your end step, if you gain life this turn, untap Raghost. I like Raghost. And Caveron Harrier, 1 mana for 2/1. When it attacks, you can pay 2 to make a tapped, make a 2/2 colorless robot that is tapped and attacking that sacrifices itself at the end step. Like, I used this during a pre-release, and for like 2 or 3 turns, just smack the guy for 4 every turn. And it's like, alright, yeah, sure. Nice little swamp. Then we have another lander with a human soldier. Lux Knight Breacher. 4 mana for a 2/2. It gets +1/+1, a +1/+1 counter for each other creature and artifact you control. So you have a bunch of landers that are doing nothing. This guy gets bigger. If you're a very wide board, this guy's bigger. Yeah. As long as you at least have like 2 or 3 creatures when you cast this, like he's above curve. So, Biosynth Burst. 2 mana. Put a counter on a creature. It gains reach, trample, indestructible until end of turn, and untap it. I like the little combat trick. Melded Moxite. 2 mana. When it enters, you can discard a card and draw 2 cards. 3 mana, sack this artifact, create a tapped 2/2 colorless robot. Colorless Crawler, or Comet Crawler. 3 mana for 2/3 with lifelink. When it attacks, you may sack another creature or artifact. If you do, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, a 4/3 with lifelink. It's not horrible. Sinister Cryologist. 3 mana for 2/3. When it enters, a creature an opponent controls gets -3/-0. You can warp it in for 1 mana. This card, it's not the greatest. Thawbringer. 3 mana for 4/2. When it enters or dies, surveil 1. Yeah, I mean, you know, it probably trades down most of the time, but you do get some surveils out of it. Radiant Strike, 4 mana. Destroy a tapped artifact or tapped creature, and you gain 3 life. There's the Harrier. Mouth of the Storm, 7 mana for 6/6 flying, ward 2. When it enters, creatures your opponents control get -3/-0 until your next turn. So you play this, your opponent's creatures are weaker during their turn, and during your combat phase for that turn. So, potential way to, like, close out a game or at least get rid of some of their stuff. Fell Graveship. 3 mana for a spacecraft. When it enters, mill 3 cards, then return a creature or spacecraft from your graveyard to hand. Station for 8 makes it a 3/2 flying with lifelink. Ooh, Celestial Colonnade in the special land art. It enters tapped, add blue or white, and then for 5 mana, it becomes a white-blue elemental creature token or elemental creature with flying and vigilance while still being a land. Very cool. Ooh, and Pinnacle Emissary. 3 mana for a 3/3. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, make a drone, which can only block creatures with flying. You can warp it in for a blue or a red. So, I mean, you know, you warp it in, maybe you play a couple of free artifact spells, you get a bunch of drones, and then later you can cast it for its normal 3. I know from watching, like, MTG Goldfish, like, some people were, Seth was thinking, like, potential modern playable, where, yeah, turn 1, you warp this in, you cast your Mishra's Bauble, and, you know, things like that. Get a couple of drones to at least have some flyers as well. And, you know, later on, you have a 3/3 robot if needed. I don't know. Could be. Ooh, very cool. Sammy's Curiosity. 1 mana, gain 2 life, make a lander. So you can perfectly fix your mana on turn 2 if you're in a 2-color deck. Ooh, and then we have a Plains in foil. Then we have a Lander, and there's the drone that the Pinnacle Emissary makes. Alright, Shattered Wings. 3 mana, destroy an artifact, enchantment, or creature with a flying. Surveil 1. You get one of these in essentially every set. We've seen the drone. Grav Kill. 4 mana, instant. Exile a creature or spacecraft. Cool. Faller's Faithful. 3 mana for 3/1. When it enters, destroy up to 1 target creature. If that creature wasn't dealt damage this turn, its controller draws 2 cards. So, you know, you swing with a 1/1, they block with a 5/5 or whatever just to get rid of the 1/1. You know, then you can play this and blow up their 5/5. Or, if you don't have a way to, like, deal damage, you can just, alright, I'll play this 3/1, blow up your 5/5, but you do get 2 cards. Risk and reward, you know, you can see. Reroute Systems, 1 mana, and you get to choose 1. Artifact or creature gains indestructible, okay. Or deal 2 damage to a tapped creature. Save your own thing, destroy one of your opponent's attackers. Alright. Immundian Terra Botanist. 2 mana for 2/3. Whenever a land you control enters, gain a life. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, you already have a bigger butt than normal. You have upside for just playing lands, which, you know, you do on every turn. Yeah, no, I like that. Ruinous Rampage. 3 mana. Deal 3 damage to each opponent, or exile all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Ooh. Okay. Great way to just get rid of some mana rocks. Oh, and even like artifact lands as well. This would get rid of them. Elegy Acolyte. 4 mana for 4/4 with lifelink. That's already good. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card, lose a life. Okay. Beginning your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield or spell was warped, make a 2/2 robot. Alright. No, I like that. Yeah. Maybe going a little aggro. You know, you might hit for with one of your creatures, you get to draw a card. This gets lifelink, so that if you do hit your opponent with this, then you know, you're still gaining 3. No, I like it. Yeah. Vault Guard Trooper in foil. The art's so dark that the foil doesn't really help it. There's the planes we pulled. Alright. Squire's Lightblade. 1 mana. Flash. So you can cast it at instant. When it enters, attach it to a creature. That creature gains first strike until end turn. It gets +1/+0 and equip for 3. I think there was one similar to this in Final Fantasy, but it was red instead of white. Yeah, so it's a nice little combat trick. It's an equipment that pumps up one of your creatures. There's some artifact synergies where we saw that jellyfish earlier, that if you control an artifact, it's a 2/4. So, you know, there's ways this can work. Gene Pollinator. 1 mana for 1/2. Tap an untapped permanent you control. Add a mana of any color. Okay. So instead of sacking your landers, you can tap your landers to make a mana. Alright. Bombard. 3 mana. Deal 4 damage to a creature. Simple. Concise. Love it. Dark Endurance. Costs 1 less to cast if its target's a blocking creature. Target creature gets +4/+0 and indestructible until end, or +2/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. So yeah, for your end, you know, you're blocking with something, you can guarantee a kill while saving your guy, or even just on, if you're swinging it in for 2 mana, you can maybe guarantee a kill, or just get some excess damage in. I like it. Ilvoy Light Jammer. Light Jammer. 2 mana, equipment, flash, attach it to a creature when it enters, and it gains hexproof, so a nice way to save your guy. And then +1/+2. The equip is 3. No, I like it. Little safety valve for if your opponent is trying to remove something of yours. Starfighter Pilot, 2 mana for a 2/2. When it becomes tapped, Surveil 1. Simple. There was something like this in Duskmourn that was an enchantment creature, I believe. No, yeah. When something becomes tapped, Surveil 1. Love it. Mechanzoa, Thawbringer, Seed Ship Brewtender. Black and green for a 2/3. When it enters, mill 3. 5 mana, sack the creature. Return a creature or spacecraft from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, so you can cheat in. Maybe your 9-drop that got milled. If you're bringing back Station, it's got to have a good ETB ability. But yeah. Nice little graveyard recursion shenanigan that you always end up seeing in green-black. Sculpting Blast. 2 mana. Return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand. But if that creature was attacking, you get a 1/1 drone with flying. Yeah. Just like, oh, your 7/7's coming? Bounce it. Territorial Bruntar. 6 mana for 6/6. Reach. Whenever a land you control enters, exile cards from the top of your library. Until you exile a non-land card, you may cast that card this turn. You still have to pay the mana cost for it. But you can dig through your deck in order to, you know, potentially find some threats or cards that you would need to help you turn the tide of the game. Ooh. Tanuk Steadfast Second. Oh, this is a different Tanuk. Okay. 4 mana for a 3/5. Other creatures have haste. Artifacts and red creatures in your hand have warp of 3. Okay. And this is his exploration version. Sinister, Cryologist, and Foil. Yeah, it's alright. Plains, Lander, Robot. Alright, Cryo Shatter, Enhancer, Shattered Wings, Nebula Dragon we've seen. Drill 2 Deep. 2 mana, put 5 charge counters on a spacecraft or a planet you control. So, great way to potentially station something up really quickly. Or, destroy an artifact. So, your opponent has something that's a problem, goodbye. Ooh, I like this one. This one is great. Depressurize, 2 mana. Target creature gets -3/-0. If its power is 0 or less, it destroys because it has no oxygen. Harmonious Grove Strider. 5 mana for Star. It has Ward 2. Power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. Assuming, you know, land for every turn, you don't have mana rocks, it's a 5 mana 5/5 with Ward 2. I mean, if you're cheating it in because you have like a mana rock, then it's like, you know, a 5 mana 3/3, which isn't that great. But, you know, late game, it's a 5 mana 11/11. So, yeah, it's alright. Honored Knight Captain. 2 mana for 1/1. When it enters, make a 1/1. Sack this creature for 6 mana. Search your library for an equipment card. Put it on the battlefield. Haven't seen that much good equipment, so I don't know how well this synergizes in this set. Remnant Elemental. 2 mana for 0/4 with reach. Landfall gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So it's a great blocker. landfall ability. Like, it pumps it up on your turn, and then maybe you're able to swing with it. I don't really know how I feel about this. Oh, and that's like our... That doesn't have, like, one of our normal creature types, because we've seen a lot of Kavus, robots, jellyfish. Elemental is different. Servodnum, the Lucent. 2 white, black, black for a 4/4 with Death Touch, lifelink. When it enters or attacks, other creatures get +1/+0 and Death Touch until end of turn. Yeah, he's alright. The 4/4 with lifelink and Death Touch is kind of annoying. So, ooh, very nice. Cosmogoyf. Black and green for a star and a 1+ star. Power is equal to the number of cards you own in exile, and its toughness is equal to 1 plus that number. So you start warping a bunch of stuff, you play this, and you're able to have a really big guy. You know, if you pair it up with that 6 guy, what was it? Oh, we literally just saw him in like a pack or 2 ago. Let me see if I can find it. It's the one where landfall, you exile until you hit a non-land card. That guy. Oh, that's because the cards are here. Yeah, you team it up with that. You know, all the lands are going into exile, in which then it powers up Cosmogoyf even more. So I like that. Biosynthetic Burst. That's alright. Ooh, Full Art Mountain. Very cool. Lander Robot. Alright. Divert Disaster. 2 mana. Counter a spell unless its controller pays 2. If they do, you get a lander. So they make their spell cost more. You get a lander in response. Yeah, it's alright. Banishing Light, I'm sure we've seen in our other box openings. But 3 mana, when it enters, exile a non-land permanent and opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield. Yeah. It's just a nice little removal. Slag Drill Scrapper. 1 mana for a 1/2, and then for 2 mana, sack another artifact or land, draw a card. Yeah, if you're flooding, you use this, sack a land, draw a card. I like it. Decode Transmissions. 3 mana, you draw 2 and lose 2. But if you warped or had a non-land permanent leave, you draw 2 and your opponent loses 2. Swarm Color. I haven't seen this one yet. 4 mana for a 2/4 flyer. When it becomes tapped, you can sack another creature or artifact. If you do, draw a card. Alright, yeah, no. And it flies. Like, you can turn your landers into card draw if you don't want to be searching for lands. No, okay, I like that. We've seen Radiant Strike. Ethereal Dreaming Acolyte. 1 blue-black for 2/3. When it enters, draw 2 cards. Then discard 2 unless you discard an artifact. And then during your turn, it has Death Touch. Null. I believe this is just a reprint of a card. I don't know when we would have last seen it. 1 mana. Counter an artifact or enchantment spell. Oh, you want that spacecraft? No. Terrapack Intimidator. 2 mana for 2/1. When it enters, an opponent may have you create 2 lander tokens. If they don't, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. So, you play this on turn 2, they're probably going to give you the landers. Because, you know, dealing with a 4/3, kind of annoying on turn 2. Or, if it's like turn 6, and you're at like 4 lands, and you play this, they might make it a 4/3. Because they'd rather you not have lands. So, I really like this guy. Ooh, Petrified Field. It's a land. Add a colorless. Sack this land. Return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so it allows you to get a specific land you might need. Okay. Sure. Ooh, and Singularity Rupture. 6 mana, destroy all creatures, any number of target players, each mills half their library rounded down. Now, this is a great card. I like it. The Light Jammer. That's alright. Then we have our Swamp, Lander, Soldier. I need to do some sleeving because I haven't done that in a couple of packs. I don't think I've ever seen Petrified Field before. Like, I'm not even sure what it could be good in. Because, like, okay, you put it in, like, a Muldrotha deck. Like, you can just play lands from your graveyard anyway. I mean, yeah, I guess you could get back, like, maybe an Ancient Tomb or an Eldrazi Temple. Like, that could be something. I am loving this set so far, God. Sloth. Did 2 pre-releases yesterday. Went 2-1 in each of them. My polls were pretty nice there. So far for the box, our polls have been pretty good too. Yeah, so far, having a great time. We got Whale. Alright, we've seen that. We've seen the Worm, the Land Seeker, the Oblivion. Thaumaton Torpedo. 1 mana for an artifact. 6 mana. Sack it, destroy non-land permanent. This ability costs 3 less to activate if you attacked with a spacecraft. Ooh. Okay. That could be interesting. Yeah. Because normally, it, you know, there isn't really like a cost reduction on these types of artifacts. It is literally like, all right, yeah, you have 2 options, like 3 mana destroy a creature, 6 mana destroy anything. But I mean, the fact that this could be a 3 mana just destroy something, all right. Radiant Strike. Siege Ship Argarian. 4 mana for 3/3. When it becomes tapped to make a lander, whenever a land you control enters, put a counter on him. So he's self-sufficient in that way. It's like, all right, I'll swing with him. He's a 3/3. I get a lander. Oh, you're going to block with a 3/3. Well, I'll sack the lander, get a land, put a counter on him. Like, the insects and the Kavus, I think I'm most interested in for this set. I liked Tarkir, and I did play a lot of Tarkir. I do think Tarkir might just be better to play a little bit, because with this set, you have the whole station mechanic, which, you know, is very similar to vehicles, and so, you know, vehicles aren't always the best to do, or the best feeling to play with, so this might have similar situations to that. But, like, I just had some really great games last night with this set, so I am excited to see how it goes, and we'll see how quickly the burnout might be, if it happens. Sunstar Expansionist. 2 mana for 2/3. When it enters, if an opponent controls more lands than you, make a lander token. And whenever a land you control enters, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Alright. Could work well with, like, the Chocobo deck from Final Fantasy. Lightless Evangel we've seen. Atmosphere Greenhouse. 5 mana spacecraft. When it enters, put a counter on each creature you control. Hot damn, that's good. And then 8 charge counters, makes a 5/4 flying trample. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Alright, that's nice. Famished Worldsire. 8 mana for 0/0. It has Ward 3, Devour Land 3. So you sack any number of lands, and it comes in with 3 times that many counters. So you sack 1 land, it's a 3/3. 2 lands, it's a 6/6, etc. So you would probably sack 3 lands to make it a 9/9. When it enters, look at the top X cards of your library where X is this creature's power. Put any number of land cards on the battlefield tapped. The rest get shuffled back into your library. So look 9 cards deep. Maybe you're able to replace the 3 lands you sacrificed. Maybe you're able to get a couple more lands out of your deck. And it's a giant Leviathan. Like, who doesn't like Leviathans? Ooh, that is a foil Secluded Starforge. Oh, that, yeah, shine on that building. A couple of stars sparkle too. Oh yeah, the sun lights up quite well too. I like it. All right, land, tap, to add colorless. 2 mana tap, X artifact, untapped artifacts you control, and a creature gets +X/+O until end turn. 5 mana, make a robot. Okay. Probably not the greatest, but like, oh, that foiling though. That foiling is nice. And we have a full art forest. That looks so good. And then a lander drone token. I don't think there are that many, like, tokens. I think there's landers, humans, drones, slivers, maybe an insect. Yeah, there's not that many, tokens this time. Ilvoy Operative. 2 mana for 2/1. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a counter on this guy. Alright, yeah. Jellyfish Rogue. He has a lance. That's cute. Exosuit Savior. 3 mana for 2/2 flying. When it enters, return up to 1 other target permanent you control. So if you have a nice ETB trigger that you want to do, you can bounce something. You don't have to. You can just play this as a 3 mana 2/2 flyer. Yeah. We've seen the gear. We've seen the kill ship. Virulent Silencer. 3 mana for 2/3. Whenever a non-token artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. With the amount of artifacts that there are, you can easily poison somebody out in standard. Even though, did we just get rid of, like, all will be one and all of that? I don't remember if we did. Siege Ship Impact. 2 mana. Destroy an artifact or enchantment. If its mana value was 2 or less, make a lander. Okay, so blow up maybe a spacecraft that they have. That's 2 mana. In which then you get a lander. If they don't have the mana to sack their lander token, you destroy their lander, you get a lander. Alright. Or just, destroy a 3 mana cost thing in order to just destroy a bigger thing. Earthrow Scan Ship. 4 mana for 4/4. Enters, draw 2, discard a card. Station at 8, it's a flying 4/4. Yeah. Tragic Trajectory. 1 mana, give something -2/-2. Alright. Or Void, -10/-10. Very similar to Tragic Slip. Where it's -1/-1. But if something had died, -13/-13. Very similar in a way to that. Ooh, Warmaker Gunshipped. When it enters, it deals damage equal to the number of artifacts you control to target creature and opponent controls. And then for 6 counters, it's a flying 4/3. Yeah, alright. Foil depressurize. The head is exploded. Oh, that would look good in foil. Nice swamp. Lander robot. Yeah, there's only one card related in the set to poison counters, but there's just so many artifacts. And, like, I do wonder why that one card deals with poison. So let's actually... So it's a robot assassin, nano infectant, category 5 substance capable of infecting both organics and artificials. Weaponizing it is a war crime. Okay, so like the flavor text gives a little bit of like, here's why it's poisoning the players. So I like it. Cryogen Relic. 2 mana. When it enters or leaves, draw a card. And then for 2 mana, sack it. Put a stun counter on up to 1 target tapped creature. Yeah. It's Ichor Wellspring, but with upside. We've seen that. We've seen that. Automized Microsizer. 1 mana, equipment. The equipped creature gets +1/+0. When the equipped creature attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. It can't be blocked and is a 1/1. So, I saw this last night and just trying to think, like, how could this be used? So, you equip it onto something, you can make the thing that's attacking a 1/1 that can't be blocked, so you get in for 2 damage constantly. But that does make it at risk for removal constantly. You can shrink one of your opponent's giant things and make it a 1/1. So that, one of your things can survive. And I think that's more what you would do. Is you would shrink something of your opponent's down to being a 1/1 for a turn. So that their blocks are not as favorable. I think that's the best way to do this card. And yes, the relic is great for blinking. Litho Breaking. 3 mana, make a lander, then you can sack an artifact. When you do, deal 2 damage to the board. Yeah. A nice little board wipe. You maybe get some ramp later on, or you can just sack the lander because you don't need it. All Fates Scroll. 3 mana for a mana rock. There's always a mana rock within a set. This one has 7. Sack this artifact. Draw X cards, where X is the number of different named lands you control. With all the shock lands and the station lands and your basic lands, you could end up drawing quite a few cards with this. Alright, vote out. This is clearly an Among Us reference. 4 mana, Convoked, so your creatures can tap to reduce the colorless or the colored mana. Destroy a creature. Yeah. My 3 creatures, vote for that one. You're gone. Ooh. Gene Morph Imago. Green and blue for 1/3 with flying. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, target creature becomes a 3/3. But if you have 6 or more lands, it becomes a 6/6. Yeah, no. Yeah, I like that. Alright, here's my 1/1. It's now a 3/3 for the turn. Bop. Yeah. Dock Worker Drone. 2 mana for a 1/1. When it enters with a counter on it, so really a 2 mana 2/2. And when it dies, you move its counter somewhere else. Yeah, the foiling's alright. Ooh, there we go. Nice little foil island with all the stars up there. That's nice. Alright, you. You. Oh, I have to go here, don't I? Yep. report the channel. Chat messages. Next. Spam, scam, bots, or blah. So, scam. Sent this in my chat. Block the user. And then also, sorry about this, just give me a second. Stream manager. Add the block list, there we go. Okay. Okay, I think we're good there. All right. Technician we've seen. Zealot we've seen. Move that over here. There we go. Sky Stinger we've seen. Turbo Drone. Monoist. Sentinel. Depressurize. Pulsar Squadron Ace. 2 mana for a 1/2. When it enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can reveal a spacecraft from among them, put them in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If you don't put a card in your hand this way, put a counter on this guy. So, he's a 1/2 that pulls something out of your deck. Alright. Or he's a 2/3. Which, with the +1/+1 counter synergies, could end up working. Alright, here we go. Best uncommon in the set. Umbral Caller Zealot. 2 mana for a 3/2. Sack another creature or artifact. Surveil 1. There's no cost to do it. It is absolutely free. Best uncommon in the set. Unravel. 3 mana. Counter a spell. So cancel. If the amount of mana spent to cast that spell was less than its mana value, you draw a card. So if somebody tries warping something, which is normally... I don't think we've seen one that's more expensive. We've only seen cheaper and the same. So they try warping something, you're like, haha, no, thank you for the card. Yeah, it's alright. Ooh, Terminal Velocity. Alright. 6 mana for sorcery. Put an artifact or creature from your hand on the battlefield, and it gains haste. When the permanent leaves the battlefield, deal damage equal to its mana value to each creature. Being your end step, sack this creature. So, for 6 mana, there's that giant Colossus. It's a 9 mana 9/9. So you can play that in, swing for 9, and then you sack it, you deal 9 damage to every creature, so you board wipe. So, I mean, yeah, if you're behind, yeah. But it's a 6 mana sorcery, so, like, it's easy to counter, things like that. That's alright. Ooh, but there we go, another mythic. Alfariel Stonechosen. I got a date stamp version of him in one of my pre-release kits. 5 mana for 3/3. Ward. Discard a card at random. It is... The discard a card at random is so nice. Whenever it attacks, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield or a spell was warped, that player, the defending player, loses half their life. Rounded up. A nice way to just be like, oh, you're at 40? Boom, you're at 20. I like him. Ooh, and a Foil Caller Zealot. Oh, that's nice. We have a Plains, a Lander, and a Robot. Alfariel. I like you a lot. I took somebody in the pre-release from 26 to 13 with that, and then they still had to make their blocks. So... All right. Nutrient block. 1 mana for an indestructible food. 2 mana, sack this, gain 3 life. When it is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. So, your opponents can't destroy your food because it's cardboard or something. I don't know. Ice Cave Crasher. 4 mana for a 4/4 with trample. But when a land enters, it gets +1/+0. Yeah. It's alright. Alright, we've seen that. We've seen that. That shouldn't happen. That's 2 nutrient blocks in the same pack. That shouldn't happen. Weftstalker Ardent. 3 mana for a 2/3. Whenever another creature or artifact you control enters, deal a damage to each opponent. Okay, so it's an Impact Tremors. You can warp it in for 1 red mana. Yeah. I like it. 1 mana, temporary Impact Tremors, to then later be a 3 mana Impact Tremors. Alright, yeah. Glacier Godmaw. 7 mana for a 6/6 with trample. When it enters, make a lander token. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, creatures you control get +1/+1, vigilance and haste. Yeah, alright. You play this on turn 7, assuming it doesn't die. Turn 8, you play 2 creatures in your hand. You play a land. Those creatures get haste. That's a nice way to, like, potentially finish a game. Biomechan Engineer. 3/blue for a 2/2. When it enters, make a lander. 8 mana, draw 2 cards to make a 2/2 robot. Alright, yeah. Making a lander, always nice. Dual Sun Technique. 2 mana. Target creature gets double strike. If it has a counter on it, draw a card. Yeah. Nice little potential protection. Maybe you get a card out of it. Alright. Zoo Illfit Ostoharmonist. 3 mana for a 2/3. Return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It is a skeleton with no other abilities. And activate only as a sorcery. So you can bring back your 9/9 very quickly. And then it's just a 9/9 skeleton, no abilities. But it's constant recursion. Where you can continually just have a blocker. Like, yeah, alright. Foil Frenzied Baloth. 2 mana for a 3/2. It can't be countered. It has trample and haste. Creature spells can't be countered. Combat damage can't be prevented. Oh, it is the lower powered questing beast. But it is still very good. Move those there. Mountain. Lander Drone. I know there is one... I know there is still one other token we have not seen yet. But I don't know what else there might be. Because we've seen drones, robots, landers, and slivers. There's a robot that's multicolored. But I don't know if there's anything else. Alright, Light Jammer, Pilot, Crasher, Orbital Plunge, Prospector, Drill Too Deep. Social Engineering. 5 mana. For a landfall enchantment, make a 2/2 colorless robot. Or you can warp it for 2. So yeah, you go turn 3, warp it in, play a land, make a robot. Alright, yeah. Wedge Light Rammer. 4 mana for a spacecraft. When it enters, create a 2/2 colorless robot. And then if you get it to 9, it's a flying, first strike, 3/4. Mechan Assembler. 5 mana for 4/4. Whenever another artifact you control enters, make a 2/2 robot, but only once a turn. Or else it would end up being an infinite loop because the robot is an artifact, and then you just continually make robots. So it has to be a once per turn restriction. Ooh, Sunken Citadel. Very cool. Enters tap, choose a color, add a mana of the chosen color, add 2 mana of the chosen color, but only use this mana to activate land abilities. Oh. And a Pain for All. 3 mana for an enchantment. When this aura enters, enchanted creature deals damage equal to its power to any other target. When enchanted creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to each opponent. So, Pain for All turns it into a screaming nemesis, essentially. We have the foil drone. We have the island. Lander robot. Alright, are we halfway? Are we 2/3 of the way through the box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10 packs left in the box, and then we have our collector box. Alright, Rig for War, Virus Beetle, Mechan, Coordinator, Fate Maker we saw, Moxie. Yes, we saw that one, we saw that one. All Fate Stalker. 4 mana for a 2/3. When it enters, exile a non-assassin creature until this creature leaves the battlefield. Warp for 1 and white. So, you play this for its warp cost to temporarily get rid of something so you maybe get a little bit of damage in. Or for 4 mana, you fully get rid of something until this leaves. Yeah. Now, the storm we've seen. Ooh, there we go. Solthera the Super Void. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exiles it. At the beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creatures, sacrifice Solthera, then put a creature card exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control with 2 counters on it. Yeah, so eventually, you know, board wiping the whole thing, and then you get a really big version of something. I like it. The foil 1 mana Death Touch. There's a Full Art Swamp. Lander Drone. I think this box has been great so far. Alright, more sleeves. Am just curious. Boom, boom. Okay, just separating things out right now. Only 1 Shockland so far. But we've gotten 3 foil rares and 8 mythics. So missing on some Shocklands, but other than that, like, I think we're doing well. Fungal Colossus, 7 mana, 5/5, costs X less, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. So theoretically, you could get this out on turn 4 if you play a different land every turn. Yeah, because 7 mana, turn 4 turns it down to a 3 mana card. So yeah, you could get this out on turn 4, and you have a 5/5. Kavorian Sky Warden, 5 mana for a 4/5 with reach. Beating your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield or warps something, you get a 1/1 counter. Grab Blade Heavy, 4 mana for a 3/4, but if you have an artifact, it's a 4/4 with Death Touch. Divert Disaster, Banishing Light, Sammy's Curiosity, Drill Too Deep, Pygon Colossus. Mech Navigator we've seen the Resolve, we've seen the Faithful. Lightstall Inquisitor. 1 mana for a 2/1, Vigilance. When it enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand and may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Each spell Cast this way costs 1 more, but each land played this way costs enters tapped. So if you're able to like strip your opponent's hand by blinking this in some sort of way, where it slows them down by having lands come into play tapped, their stuff costs 1 more. Like this can be a great like control piece. Melt Strider Gear. That's alright. Planes, Lander Robot. Alright, Mental Modulation. Yeah, we've seen. Seam Rip. 1 mana. When it enters, exile a non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value 2 or less until it leaves the battlefield. So a great way to get rid of some early threats. And enchantment removal is just a little harder to come by. So, Roving Actuator. 4 mana for 3/4. Non-land permanent or something was warped. Exile an instant or sorcery card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard. Copy it. You may cast a copy without paying the mana cost. Okay. There's like the bounce spell. There's the deal 2 damage to something. Alright, yeah. So like temporary removal and stuff. Broodguard Elite. X green for a 0/0. Enters with X counters on it. So for 5 mana, it's a 3/3. When it leaves, move the counters somewhere else. But the warp is X and green. When it leaves, move the warp is extra counters onto certain things. That's actually not bad. Interceptor Mechan. 2 black red for 2/2. Flying. When it enters, return an artifact or creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I like that. And then void, so non-land permanent or warp. Put a counter on this creature. Yeah, no, I like that. Nova Hellkite. Such a good card. 5 mana for 4/5 flying haste. When it enters, deal damage to some creature. Or you can warp it in for 3. So 3 mana, swing with a 4/5 in the air. And then do it again on turn 5. Foil Banishing Light. Mountain. Lander Robot. Auxiliary Boosters. 5 mana for an equipment. When it enters, make a 2/2 robot and attach the equipment to it. It becomes a 3/4 with flying. So any other equipped creature gets +1/+2 in flying. The equip is 3. Alright, yeah. Plasma Bolt. Zealous Display. Wayfarer. Hylia Ascendant Cadet. 2 green, white for a 3/3. When it enters or attacks, put a counter on a creature you control. When 1 or more creatures you control with counters on them deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. So, +1/+1 counter matters. Style card. Fel's Graveship. We've seen Honor. Earthos Psionist. 3 mana for 2/4. The second spell you cast each turn costs 2 less. Yeah. No, yeah, I like that. Nice way to cheapen some other stuff, yeah. Pinnacle Starcage. Alright. 3 mana for an artifact. When it enters, exile all artifacts and creatures with mana value 2 or less until the artifact leaves the battlefield. For 8 mana, put each card exiled with this artifact into its owner's graveyard. Then you make a 2/2 robot for each card put into a graveyard this way, and you sacrifice it. So, You get rid of 3 things. If for some reason this stays around, you get 3 robots for 8 mana. Yeah, alright. The Breacher. Foil Plains. Land or robot. Alright, Scrapper. The Relic again, which is always nice. Chrome Companion. We've seen Station Monitor. We've seen that one. We've seen that one. Caesarian Voidborn. 3 mana for a 2/2. When this creature or another creature or artifact you control dies, target opponent loses a life, you gain a life. You can warp it in for 1. Yeah. 0 Point Ballad. X and black. Destroy all creatures with toughness X or less. You lose X life. If X is 6 or more, return a creature card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. So, it's a board wipe. It costs you a bit, but you might be able to get a big thing out of it. So, the Tenderfoot, Forest, Lander, Robot. Five packs left. Alright, Cryptologist, boosters, diplomatic relations. Target creature you control, specifically, gets +1/+0 and gains vigilance until end of turn. Deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. So, it's a misprint. They errated it to be target creature you control. This would have been fine. As a, you know, just any creature gets +1/+0. But, Galvanizing Sawship. I don't think we've seen this. 6 mana for a station. At 3 counters, it's a flying haste 6/5. Monoist Circuit Feeder. 6 mana for a Nautilus, so not a jellyfish specifically. It's a 4/4. It has flying. When it enters, something yours gets bigger while you shrink the toughness of an opponent's creature, where X is the number of artifacts you control. So you can essentially pump up your guy, kill something of your opponent's, and then swing in with a big creature. Dawnstrike Vanguard. 6 mana for a 4/5 with lifelink. Beginning your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control other than this creature. Yeah. No, I like that. That's nice. Godless Shrine. Alright, second shock land. White and black. Very nice. And a Frenzied Baloth, which we've seen. Oreplate Pangolin. We have not seen this guy. 2 mana for 2/2. Whenever another artifact you control enters, you can pay 1. If you do, put a counter on this guy. Yeah. Nice little pangolin there. Island. Lander, Robot. Come on. Alright. There's the Pangolin. We've seen the Zookeeper, the Thawbringer. Tractor Beam. I like this card. 4 mana. Enchanted creature or spacecraft. When this enters, tap it. But you gain control of that creature or spacecraft. And it does not untap. So it's removal. You're basically saying, you're mine now. I don't want to deal with you anymore. Stay down there. Sunstar Lightsmith. 4 mana for 3/3. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a counter on him and draw a card. I had an opponent yesterday that was actually doing some nice stuff with this. Hymn of the Faller. 2 mana. Surveil 1, draw 1, lose 1. But if you voided, you draw 2 total. I like it. Ooh, Echoing Deeps. You may have this land enter tapped as a copy of any land in a graveyard except its a... What the? Except it's a cave? I don't think that's supposed to be there. I'm going to have to look at that in a second. Starwinder. So another rare. 7 mana for a 7/7. When a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw that many cards. And you can warp it in for 4 mana. And then the All Fates Stalker, which we saw earlier, but in foil now. We have the Island, Lander, Robot. Is this like... So this is Echoing Depths, Echoing Deeps. Nope, yep, nope. It's blocked off on purpose in the art. All right. Well, that's kind of annoying. Because, like, the way that is blocked off, it's like, wait. What is it supposed to be in addition to its other type? So, you know, somebody might not know. Alright, Bombard, Dark Endurance, Crasher, Plunge, Command Bridge, Zookeeper, Rampage. We've seen the Infiltrator, Rescue Skiff. Have we seen this? I don't think we have. 6 mana. When it enters, return a creature or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Station up to 10. It's a 5/6 flyer. Yeah. Close Encounter. As an initial cost to choose a spell, choose a creature you control or a warped creature card you own in exile. Deal damage equal to the power of the chosen creature or card to target creature. So, it's a punch in which, yeah, you just choose something in which, haha. Ooh, Extinguisher Battleship. 8 mana for a spacecraft. Destroy a non-creature permanent. Then this spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature. And station up to 5, it is a flying trample 10/10. It is a big battleship. Foil Land Seeker. Ooh, I like the way that the line there shows up on the foil. Full Art Plains. Robot Sliver token. Alright, 2 packs left. Alright, blah, blah. We've seen... Oh, we have not seen you. Peregrine Beckoner. 4 mana, or 5 mana for a 4/5. When it enters, until end of turn, another target creature you control gets +2/+0. When it dies, return to the battlefield tapped. Okay. And then Warp for 2. Yeah, no, that... I like it. Alright, you warp it in for 2. Maybe you're getting in for 4 damage because your opponent just doesn't want to lose their creature. And then, you know, late game, you get a big thing where maybe they have to block, it trades, and then you're able to get the big thing back again. Torpedo. Scour for scrap. 4 mana, choose one or both. Search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it in your hand. Return an artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Alright. Molecular Modifier. 3 mana for a 2/2. Being in combat on your turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and first strike until end of turn. We've seen the Scrap Bot. Blade of the Swarm. 4 mana for a 3/1. When it enters, choose one. Make it a 5/3. Or put an exile card with Warp on the bottom of its owner's library. Yeah. That way they don't get to cast it again in the future, so it takes them a bit. That's alright. Requiem Monolith. 3 mana. Tap. Until end of turn, target creature gains whenever this creature is dealt damage, you draw that many cards and lose that much life. That creature's controller may have this artifact deal 1 damage to it. Activate only as a sorcery. So yeah, you're able to go, alright, I'll deal you a damage, draw a card. You don't have flyers, so I can fly in safely. That's alright. Foil Shattered Wings. Forest, Lander, Robot. Alright, and last pack of the box. Alright, Beckoner, Operative, Savior, Colossus, Sky Warden, Heavy, Companion, Survey Mechan. 4 mana for 1/3 with flying. It has hexproof. 10 mana, sack this, deal 3 damage to any target. Target player draws 3 cards and gains 3 life. This ability costs X less, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. Yeah. It's alright. I don't know how relevant that last ability will be. Specimen Freighter. 6 mana. When this enters, return 2 non-spacecraft creatures to their owner's hand. Stationed up to 9, it's a 4/7 with flying. When it attacks, the defending player mills 4 cards. Yeah. It's nice tempo play. You bounce 2 of their things so that they have to replay them. Maybe you eventually start milling them out. Alright. Malt Strider Uologist. 3 mana for 3/3. Whenever a creature you controlled with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, draw a card. So yeah. +1/+1 counters deal combat damage, draw a card. When they die, draw a card. Like a lot of +1/+1 counter synergies for the green-white. Scout for Survivors. 3 mana. Return up to 3 target creature cards with total mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Put a counter on each of them. So you can get 3 1-drops. You can get a 2-drop and a 1-drop. You could end up getting 1 3-drop. I don't think there are any 0-drops. But, you know, you then get counters on them, in which then, if they die again with the Uologist, you then draw a card. Alright. Hard Light Containment. It's an enchantment for 1. Enchant an artifact you control. When it enters, exile a creature an opponent controls until the aura leaves the battlefield. Enchanted permanent has Ward 1. So it makes it a little harder for them to remove. Atmospheric Greenhouse in foil. Swamp in foil. Ooh, I like the way the light looks there. Then we have a Lander Robot token. 2 Shocklands and 8 Mythics with 3 foil rares. I like it. I think that was a fair box. I would have probably liked 1 more Shockland, but I like everything we ended up getting. The Echoing Deeps, with the thing blocking the word cave in its art, could have probably been formulated a little bit better. But I will take another Shockland. Nova Hellkite's also just very good. All right. So that was the play box. Now we have a collector box. All right. Collector box, it is pack number 1. Oh yeah, that's right. They got rid of the slit. There we go. Alright, how are these collated? Okay, in the order I like them. Orbital Plunge, Radiant Strike. We've seen a good amount of the commons. There's Virulent Slicer, Assembler, Trajectory, Full Bore, Full Art Island, not Galaxy Foil, though. I do like how that looks. That looks so good. Alright, 0 Point Ballad in foil. Alright, Commander deck. Hearthroll in full art. I think this might be the main commander. 1 black, green, and red for station. And this can be your commander. At 2 charge counters. Pay 1 mana, tap it, sack a land, draw 2 cards. You can play an additional land. At 8 charge counters, it's a 6/7 Flying Vigilance Haste. Whenever you sack a land, each opponent loses 2 life. Oh, you throw Scapeshift in here? Ooh, yeah, no, I like that. That's actually not bad. The Dominion Bracelet, extended art. 2 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has 15. Exile Dominion Bracelet. You control your target opponent during their next turn. Costs X less to activate, where X is the creature's power, and equip is 1. So, minimally, you put this on a 0/1, it's 14 mana to activate the ability. You put it on big guy, then it's, you know, quite cheaper. Meteor Crater in foil. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, that's so good. Choose a color permanent of a permanent you control. Add 1 mana of that color. Very cool. Moonlit Meditation. 3 mana. Enchant artifact or creature you control. First time you would create 1 or more tokens, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of the enchanted permanent. Yeah, no, it's great for just token producing. Okay, a copy token, which we have not seen. Oh, but that's from the commander deck specifically. And a golem token from the commander. Okay. Let's get some of this stuff put away. That Meteor Crater is nice. All right, pack number 2. There we go. Oh, we have an art card. Did we pull a single art card in our regular box? I don't think we did. Are they now moving art cards into the collector packs? Oh, that'd be so dumb if they did. Thawbringer, Mechanzoa. Maybe the Dragon, the Assembler, Trajectory, Full Bore, Seam Rip. Foil Plains in regular foil. That's still really nice. Thrumming Hive Pool. 6 mana artifact. It has affinity for slivers. There are no slivers in the set. Slivers you control have double strike and haste. Beginning your upkeep, you make 2 1/1 colorless sliver tokens. So, I mean, you're constantly creating 2 1/1s with double strike every turn. Yeah. Festering Thicket from the Commander deck, extended art. It is a cycle land that is a swamp forest. Eternity Elevator. 5 mana for a spacecraft, it immediately can tap for 3 colorless. But if you station it up to 20, it taps for 20 plus mana of 1 color. It is insane. Lumbering Falls in the land spot. It's a green-blue land that enters tapped. For 2 green and blue, it becomes a 3/3 land with hexproof that you can swing with. Oh! That is the Galaxy Foil Godless Shrine. Oh! That is gorgeous. Oh, that is the hit of the box. Oh, it's that Hard whatever? Hard Light? Yeah, Hard Light Containment art card. Oh. Baby, a triple. Oh, there's a mark already. Oh, nope, that was just, let's take a look here. Godless Shrine. Borderless Galaxy Foil. Yeah, pre-sale right now has it at 45. Like, that's nice. Oh, that is fantastic. All right, Lumbering Falls, Eternity Elevator. It's nice that they printed some extra cycling lands. They're only found in the commander deck, but it gives us the green red, or sorry, the green black, and the red white cycling lands, which we never had. So we still have other enemy ones. So we need a blue black cycle land, a white black cycle land, and a green blue. Is that right? Yeah, because they're supposed to be enemy colors, so not right next to each other. Because we got red green previously, we got red black previously. So we would need red blue. They made red white. We would need white black and green blue. Still. All right, pack number 3. All right, Nutrient Block, Virus Beetle, Shattered Wings, Sammy's Curiosity, Galactic Wayfarer. Galaxy Foil Full Art Forest. Very cool. Very cool. Australia Reclaimer, we saw earlier. Planetary Annihilation from the commander deck. 5 mana. Each opponent, or each player chooses 6 lands they control, sacks the rest, then deal 6 damage to each creature. So, blow up the lands, blow up the board. Why not? Starfield Vocalist in Extended Art. 4 mana for 3/4. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time. The warp is 2, so this is a Panharmonicon on a stick that can be played for 2 mana. It is very good. Endless Sands. Desert, tap to add a colorless. 2 mana. Exile target creature you control. 4 mana, sack this land, return each creature card exiled with this land to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's a lot of work. It's not great. Like, alright, cool, yeah, maybe you're making a bunch of tokens or something, and so then you exile the thing that made the tokens. Which then, yeah, sure, you can bring them back, but like, eh. Ooh, that's nice. Ouroboros in Extended Art Foil. 4 mana for a 1/3. Beginning combat on your turn, put X+1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is this creature's power. So you put 1 counter on it. And then if it survives and it's your next turn, you then put 2 counters on everything. And then 4. And then 8. And it gets crazy. We have Colorless Robot and Sliver Foil Token. I think we might be guaranteed a special land in every pack. Like, one of these lands in the collector pack, but I could be wrong. Let me just double check. Nope, we got that one, and we got that one. So no, I think we are guaranteed one in every pack. So it'll just depend on, like, which ones it'll be. Alright, we have another art card. Alright, Enhancer, Orbital Plunge, Collar, Grave Heavy, Diplomatic Relation. Ooh, Seam Rip. I do like how, like, this thing here foils up. It's kind of nice. Steel Swarm Operator, Molecular Modifier, Pulse Squadron Ace, Forest, but not in Galaxy Foil, but still regular foil. Not bad. It looks like it's raining in the picture. Could just be me, but it looks like it's raining. Alright, Foil Watery Grave. I'll take it. Gotta love getting a Shockland. Alright, Commander deck, Orthros Research Craft. 3 mana, first station. Crew, station for 3. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, draw a card, put a charge counter on it. So it starts stationing itself, essentially. And then at 12, it gets +1/+0 for each spacecraft you control, or each artifact you control, and it starts at a 0/8. So, I mean, the constant, like, just drawing stuff, like, yeah, I like it. And it's got a weird, like, face right there. If you can see it. Like, it's a little creepy to look at. Warmaker Gunship in Extended Art. We saw that. Oh! Hot damn. Not foil. But that is still really good. That is Ancient Tomb in its, like, super special art. Oh. Oh, and a alternate art Cosmogoyf foil as well. Oh, and Celestial Colonnade. Cool. All right, let's get this Ancient Tomb in, because holy jeez. Ancient Tomb. Let's take a look at that one. Yeah, non-foil right now, 100 pre-sale, $140. Yeah, that is fantastic. That is essentially half the price of the box. Alright. Packs aren't that bad to open so far. Tenderfoot, Depressurize. All-Fate Scroll, Titan, Uologist, Island, regular foil. Very cool. Starfield Vocaloid. Hey, we got him earlier in the box. In foil. Not bad. Depth Shaker Titan. 7 mana for 5/5. When it enters, any number of target non-creature artifacts you control become 3/3 artifacts. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Each artifact creature you control has melee, trample, and haste. What is melee again? MTG melee. +1/+1 until end of turn for each opponent that you attack. Okay, so you can make them 6/6s, essentially. Yeah, no, okay. You have to sack them at the end of the turn, but you're making a bunch of 6/6s. So like all your mana rocks and things like that. Okay. Ooh, a Stelly Reclaimer. In its I don't know, I'm just gonna call this like the Explorer art. That looks cool. Cathedral of War, non-foil. This land enters tapped, exalted. So whenever a creature attacks alone, gets +1/+1, and tapped out a colorless. Requiem Monolith in extended art foil. Ooh, Shapeshifter from the Commander deck. Changeling Death Touch. That's kind of cool. And Enchantment Artifact Creature Golem. Okay. So probably something from the Theros block got reprinted that made golems. I kind of like the Death Shaker Titan. I mean, I have a Bellow of the Bard Brambles deck. So, like, I don't know if... I don't think I'd put him in there, but, like, he would fit. Alright. Radiant Strike. Galeblade, Nutrient Block. Sanctuary, Pollinator, Operator, Modifier, Ace, the Elite, Mountain in regular foil. Okay. Extinguisher Battleship in foil. Ooh, I like how that up there shines a little bit. Yeah. Baloth Prime. 4 mana for 10/10. Enters tapped with 6 stun counters on it. Makes sense. Whenever you sack a land, make a 4/4 green beast creature token, untap this creature, or remove a stun counter from it. 4 mana, sack a land, gain 2 life. Interesting. I mean, that's cool. But probably not usable for me. Memorial Vault, extended art. Sack another artifact, or 4 mana for an artifact. Sack another artifact. Exile the top X cards of your library, where X is 1 plus the mana value of the artifact. You can play those cards this turn. So it's a great way to like dig through your deck. You will miss out on some stuff, but it is it allows you to get a bit deeper. Ooh, oh. All right, this is the Galaxy foil. It's a little hard to see. There we go. Of Crystal Quarry. Tap, add colorless, or 5 mana and tap this, get Wooburg. Very cool. And foil Possibility Technician. I used this guy in the pre-release. 3 mana for 3/3. When it or another Kavu enters, exile the top card of your library. You can play that card as long as you have a Kavu. And then you have a warp cost of 2. So, like, I don't know. I think Kavus can be, like, an interesting archetype within the draft format. So, Elemental from the Commander deck. And a 9/9 Golem from the Commander deck. All right, we are halfway done with the box already. So left half of the box, very nice. We got two Galaxy Lands. We got the Ancient Tomb. Very good left half of the box. See how the right half performs. Alright, Pinnacle Kill Ship, Drone, Endurance, Moxite. Emergency Eject we saw in an alternate art. That one's alright. Siege Ship Impact we saw. Galaxy Foil Swamp, let's go. I love the way that the like the weapon there shines. That's nice. Oh, that is great. Ooh, Entropic Battlecruiser. 4 mana for station. Station 1. Whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 3 life. Very nice. Station at 8. It's a 3/10 with flying and death touch. When it attacks, each opponent discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. So no matter what, everyone loses 3 life. I like this card. I'm going to throw it into a commander deck, actually. Surge Conductor, 3 mana for 3/2. Whenever a non-token artifact you control enters, proliferate. That might go into a different commander deck. But I like it. Ooh, here we go. Cosmogrand Zenith, 3 mana for 2/4. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, choose one. Make 2 1/1 white human soldiers, or put a counter on each creature you control. This is fantastic. This might go into a third commander deck, actually. Because I have a pure white soldier deck, and this would just work so well in it. Swarmyard. Tap land, or land, tap for colorless, or regenerate an insect, rat, spider, or squirrel. Ooh, Nova Hellkite in showcase art. 5 mana, yeah, 4/5, we saw this earlier. He's like biting a planet or the void or something. Oh, I just saw the lightning like around his neck there shine. Oh, that's nice. And then we got a robot and a munitions. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-da. Okay, I still have, looks like plenty of sleeves left. Boom, boom, boom. The Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire. Alright. Skittermaw, Cryo Shatter, Sky Stinger, Light Jammer, Zealot, Survivors, Felgrav Ship, Mouth of the Storm, Elemental, regular foil planes. But I mean, it's still nice. Hylia, Guided by Light, 3 mana, 3/3. When it or another creature or artifact enters, you gain a life. Beginning your end step, draw a card if you gain 3 or more life. Warp it for 1. This might also go into that soldier deck that I have. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a Soul Sister for artifacts and creatures. Like, gain some life, maybe draw a card. I like it. Yeah. Evendo Brush Razor. 3 mana for a 2/2 Insect Warrior. Whenever you sack a non-token permanent, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, as long as you've sacked a non-token permanent this turn, you may play cards exiled with this creature. Sack land, add 2 red. Okay. So this goes, yeah, this is the, this is in the green, black, red deck. Okay. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. Ceremia in extended art. Eldrazi Temple, just in regular foil. But it's an Eldrazi Temple, so... Oh, that looks so good. That looks nice. Ooh, an LG Acolyte in extended art foil. Very cool. Lander token, human soldier token. Do do do. All right. Pack number 9. We have another art card. Pangolin, Thawbringer, Mechanzoa, Prospector, Focus Fire, Elemental, Might, Knight Captain. We have not seen this one. Memorial Team Leader. 4 mana, 4/4/3. During your turn, other creatures get +1/+0. And you can warp it for 2. Yeah, little half anthem on a guy. Swing in. Okay. Forced in regular foil again. Weapons manufacturing. Very cool. 1 in a red. Whenever a non-token artifact you control enters, make a colorless artifact token named Munitions. That says whenever this token leaves the battlefield, deal 2 damage. We've seen the token already. So this is what makes the token. Insight Engine. 3 mana for an artifact. 2, put a charge counter on this artifact, then draw a card for each charge counter on it. Okay. Oh. Tanuk. We've had him before in this exact same art. Ooh, Deserted Temple in Galaxy Foil. Tap for a colorless land, or tap for a colorless, or 1 mana tap, untap target land. Oh! Oh! This is, okay, this is Ice Till, something. It's a 2/4 for 4. You can play lands from your graveyard. You can play an additional land per turn. Whenever you play a land, mill a card. That's what this does. Oh, very cool. Very cool. I will get you guys the name of the creature in just a second. Oh, I forgot the token. Or the art card. Is a signed Cosmograd Zenith. Oh, in the original art. Yeah. Well, thank you, Anna Steinbauer. Yeah. Let's see here. It's It's Ice Till something? Ice Till Explorer. Yeah, you can play an additional land. You can play an additional land per turn. You may play lands from your graveyard. Landfall, whenever a land you control enters, mill a card. Very cool. Very nice. And we ended up getting a Galaxy Foil land. I don't think Desert Temple is that much, but... Or Deserted Temple. 101 Galaxy Foil. Oh, no. It's like 40 bucks. Very cool. I can say that this is going far better than my Final Fantasy collector box. Because, like, just in that pack alone, I got 3 mythics. Whereas in the Final Fantasy collector box, I got a total of 5. Alright, final 3 packs. Alright, Command Bridge. Pilot, Pinnacle Kill Ship. Yep, we saw that. Social Engineering, Warship, Surgecraft. Alright, Galaxy Foil Island. Can I get the Can I get the little... Yeah, there's a spec, like, right here. It's a little hard to see, actually, on the island. But yeah, okay, there you go. Now you can see, like, the one right there. And this one's a little harder to tell that it's a Galaxy Foil. There's also one up here, but it might not show up on camera. Yep, there it is. Okay. Mutaneous Massacre. Horizon Explorer. 3 mana for 2/4. Lands enter untapped. Whenever you attack a player, make a lander token. Okay. The lands entering untapped thing, I think, is the bigger thing. Like, that's actually huge. Well, Mutaneous Massacre. In the, full art? Or, yeah, full art. That's pretty cool. Deserted Temple. I'll take it. And Warmaker Gunship in Extended Art Foil. We have a 2/2 Bird token from the Commander deck in foil. And a 1/1 Pest in the Commander deck. Alright, I expect us to get one more of the, like, commanders from the Commander deck. Maybe one more good land as well. But we got 3 Galaxy Foils for the special lands. So I don't know if we'll get another Galaxy Foil, is the thing. Alright. The Beckoner, the Enhancer, the Titan, Cryptologist, Bombard, Might, Captain, Leader, Silencer, regular foil, Swamp. Ooh, Devastating Onslaught. XX red. Create X tokens that are copy of target artifact or creature you control. Those tokens gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. So 3 mana, make 1 copy. 5 mana, make 2 copies. 7 mana, make 3, etc. Alright. I like all the colors on it, too. Ooh. Immudian Hatchery. Pay 1 life, add a black, put a hatchling counter on the land. When this land is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, for each hatchling counter on it, make a black insect token with flying. Land destruction really isn't rampant in Commander, but if you I mean, with the whole, like, sacrifice your own lands thing, like, that could actually be decent. Diadrine Synthesis Amalgam. X green white for 0/1 trample. It enters with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. So if X is 0, it's a 2/3. Whenever you attack, you may remove a counter from each of 2 creatures you control. If you do, draw a card, make a robot. Okay, so you need 2 creatures with counters on them. You can swing with a creature without counters. Remove the 2 counters from the creatures with counters to make a robot and draw a card. It's convoluted, I feel. But it could work in something. It's a little convoluted, though. Celestial Colonnade in other borderless. I kind of like the other art more. Singularity Rupture in extended full art. Destroy all creatures. Any number of target players mill half of the library. And I don't know what you are. You are Tapestry Warden. Oh, yeah. It's a green uncommon. Yeah. We saw one of those earlier. How many sleeves do I have left? Well, we'll definitely sleeve this up. We'll see what the last pack has. Alright, one pack left for us in this collector box. Alright. We have Dockworker Drone, the Pangolin, Coordinator, Drill Too Deep, Operative, Reroute Systems, Grove Strider, Ethereal, Actuator, Galaxy Foil Planes. Yeah, this one has a lot more of the pips, so you're easily able to see it. That's nice. Terra Symbiosis. Okay, 3 mana for an enchantment. Whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on a creature, you may draw that many cards. Do it once a turn. So it doesn't have to be the first time. It can just be whenever you put counters on it, you can draw. So if you put 1 counter on something, but then later in the turn put 3 counters on something, you can wait until the 3 counters are put to draw the cards. Patrolling Peacemaker. Wow, I'm actually surprised we didn't get an extra commander card. 3 mana for a 0/0. Enters with 2 counters on it. Whenever an opponent commits a crime, proliferate. Yeah, no. That's just funny. I like it. Singularity Rupture. Ooh! Oh, that is huge. Inkmoth Nexus. It is Galaxy Foil. And it's in its second alternate art. Holy Christ. Right now the listed median is $500. Oh, holy crap, what a box. Okay, and I'll read this mythic in a second. Holy jeez. Okay. And Quantum Riddler. 5 mana for 4/6 flying. When it enters, draw a card. As long as you have one or fewer cards in your hand, if you were to draw a card, you draw that many +1. You can warp it for 2. Wow, yeah, alternate art foil too. Holy jeez. This box was amazing. We have a Beast token, which is for the Baloth entry, and a Thopter token. Holy jeez. Alright, let's take a look here. We have... This was a far better box than the Final Fantasy one that I cracked open. Holy crap. So, Mythic. Yeah, Mythic. Let's just count how many Mythics we got. Mythic, Mythic, Mythic. Galaxy Foil we'll consider as well. You know, I'm honestly surprised we only got 2 shocks in the entire thing. But, Galaxy Foil. Mythic. 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 Yeah, no, this was so much better than the Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy had 5 Mythics. This I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I had 12 Mythics, so I got essentially 1 per pack. We got Ice Till in Japanese. We got foil full art mythic there. We got a mythic Galaxy Deserted Temple. We got Ancient Tomb, the Galaxy Borderless Inkmoth Nexus. We got also the Galaxy Godless Shrine. I can't complain about this box at all. Like, right now, listed median is 500. Listed median is like 140. This is 640, which is double the price of the box just for these two. And everything else is still, yeah. Holy crap! What a last pack. That is absolutely amazing. All right, I think I have to go. Like, I have all of these sleeved. I have to start putting them away in in the binder. But yeah, that is huge. The Inkmoth Nexus. That is wonderful. Yeah, so if you were here, thank you for watching. Godsloth, I saw that you were here on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Anyone that may have been lurking but never commented, thank you for watching. I am just honestly astounded at this box, which makes me even more excited to play more of Edge of Eternities. So, yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it all, and I will see you, hopefully not in a month for another stream. Hopefully I'll be able to figure something out where maybe I'll be able to start streaming at least once a week or something. But yeah, thank you, and I'll see you then.